Hi everybody, it's me. Well, with it being a holiday and with it being so far a pretty day, we've heard unfortunately some suggestions that this evening might not be so great. I thought it'd be a dandy opportunity for everybody to come out in the garden for a little bit, and I'll show you guys around, largely because I have a little something to brag about right now. I'll get to that in a second, but right now, this is where I wish I had a better camera. This is my garden area. It looks paltry, I'm sure right now. It's a work in progress, that's all I can say. Over here you can see my wildflower collection. I realize I need to organize this more, and I will do that. It's just been, this year has been a year about cleaning out a lot of the stuff to try and get this looking good. And so this is what we're looking at now. There's wildflowers. You see I have some, there's some form of sunflowers, but I'm not sure. They're not like the ones I grow regularly. That's a strawberry plant, pepper plant. I have a couple of stones there that I made, walking or stepping stones, but I haven't done more of them. I probably will in the next couple of weeks because they're basically, once you have the molds and you have like the things to make out letters and you have things to decorate them with, it's basically concrete. I'm sure that the stuff I'm buying from the craft stores, don't name the ones, but what I buy from them, I'm sure I could go to the hardware store and find a thing of concrete for, I don't know, a fraction of the price. But that said, I'll probably do that later in the year because, as you might imagine, given the fact that it's brutally hot out here, that's a fall or even early spring project, which I'm already got some ideas of what I'm going to do next year. So hopefully we'll see some real changes and shape up to make this look fantastic. So anyway, but you have to start somewhere. So I wanted to show you guys, if you can see, these are my tomato plants. Why are tomato plants such a big deal? Especially since you're like, well, they don't look that great. Well, yeah, when you consider, one, this is Florida, and two, this is July. This is July 4th. So most tomato plants are already gone by then. This time last year, all I had was just, it was nothing. It was just basically dried leaves. So the fact that I have anything at all as of July 4th is nothing worthy of remarkable accomplishment. So I'm going to go ahead and give these guys some water. Gardening in Florida is a whole different ball game. And these are all cherry tomatoes, although I think this guy over here is aroma tomato. I mean, I have all different types, and I'll go ahead and give the pepper plants a little bit of water. These pepper plants started on the hydro. This one in particular is particularly important because this replacing my first ever jalapeno tree that was incredible and died unfortunately a few years ago. Here's my raised bed. Okay, laugh at it if you will. That's potatoes. I've got pumpkins growing there, and I'm gonna have some more second. That's watermelon, and that is right there is cauliflower. Laugh if you want. Oh, you've got clover in it. Yeah. So clover is a pollinator. You kind of need it. If you completely take all of the different wild plants you will get growing in your yard, you will soon have nothing, because you will have nothing growing on your plants, because the pollinators are the lure to get bees and birds, which you need to make sure that your plants get pollinated, and that's what gives you this magical thing called fruit off your plants. So that's why it's important. Even though this banana tree, that's just a little bit. And I'll show you guys my frustration over here. Once again, this was a sunflower plant. I invested a great deal of time into that, and again, brought it out here, boom, the rain and the hot, all of a sudden I don't have a sunflower plant. That is why we're going later on today, or either today or tomorrow, I'm going to show you guys the sunflowers. I have it in the grow light, probably put some more in there, and we're going to take it from there. So I want to show you something that's kind of one of the funnier things about my gardening. You can see it right there. That, if you can see it, that weird plant there, that is a tomato plant. A few years ago, back when I was really new to this is one of those things where, again, you learn as you go along. I first got my compost machine, which is right over there, and like an idiot, when I was, I had a year where I had a ton. I had 4 cherry plants all in like a little area, and they were absolutely flooded with cherry tomatoes that were green. And I, at that point, the season was over, and they wouldn't turn green despite my best efforts. Please don't laugh at me, but I put them in the compost machine, thinking, oh, what else am I going to do with them? Well, about 4 months later, or was it more? It was more. I take it back. It was more than that, because with tomato plants, you have to wait through the long, hot summer, because tomato plants do not experience photosynthesis when it is super hot. I mean, when I say super hot, I don't mean super hot by Florida standards, 100 degrees, that's super hot. No, we're talking about 85 plus. So the fact that I have any tomato plant at all right now is nothing but goodness. And but back when this happened with the tomatoes, the green tomatoes in the compost machine, the whole summer, nothing, no big deal. No, then come the fall and winter, my husband and I see this, he saw it first. He saw a tomato plant creeping out of the sides of the compost machine. And then that little bit of a creep out of a plant turned out to be a major, it was a very large plant. It actually grew some tomatoes right out of the compost machine. That's a testament, I think, to how much I had put in that at that point. It's not really going as it should with that. I really want to get one of those mills. I may ask for one for Christmas. I don't know yet, but there's that. But every so often, whenever I use soil from the compost machine, I get these wild to me, tomato plants growing out of anywhere. I mean, when I first built the raised bed, I'd use soil from the compost machine mainly as fill, and in the middle of January I go out to water what I think are broccoli plants, cauliflower plants, pumpkins, what I was trying to grow in there, and what I probably should start trying to grow in there again. The reason I put the new potatoes in there is because we had some spare, and the thought of wasting food just drives me insane. So I just put them out here. I'm going to try the same with garlic in a couple of weeks. So we'll be out here and I'll show you I'm doing that. But because I had this tomato, but the crazy thing is I was out watering, I see tomato plants sprout out of the middle of nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay. So a lot of those plants, whenever I find them and can capture them and plant them, turn into these plants here. So I don't know, maybe they're a tad hardier because of that. But anyway, I am going to come out here with my gardening tools in just a second, and I'm going to pull that plant up and plant it. And I will show you all what I'm doing with that, and we will be talking then. But until then, I will be back shortly. See you then. We'll be back after a few moments. Hi everybody, this is me again. In the last segment I showed you my tomato plants that are doing remarkably well considering the current climate here in Central Florida. But this is a tomato plant that basically, when I was putting together my raised bed and using some of the soil from my compost machine after the misadventure I had with the tomatoes that didn't turn red, so I put them in the compost machine. Again, I realized how that's absurd. But when you garden, one of the things you learn is that you live and learn. So that's where we are now. So I am going to take this tomato plant, and I am going to plant it in a regular planter like this. This is the one I've got. I'm going to have to wet down the soil just a smidge, which I will do, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I'm doing. Okay, so there we are. Just leave it like that. Well, this guy needs some water. Make sure that you're actually seeing this time so we don't have a mishap of the I4 and I SOAR episode. That was pretty funny, wasn't it, y'all? Okay, let me see, it's right there. That was pretty funny, wasn't it? So, at any rate, put my gloves on. The most important the most important part of the plant, of course, is the roots. If the roots aren't healthy, nothing's going to be healthy. So that's just the important thing to keep in mind. The thing about tomatoes is they will grow pretty much in any substance you put it, you put it in soil, it'll grow in soil. They grow like they are basically, all you gotta understand, tomatoes are vines. They grow pretty fast. You can put them in a hydropod. I've done that many times. You can use regular soil. They grow pretty well depending on the climate. And I am going to try some experiments in the next couple of months of things that might work. I mean, just to see if they'll grow in that environment too. But anyhow, I'll go ahead and start. Gotta get around the... There we are. That is the roots. And this is a regular plant. So I was just gonna put them in here. And this little thing here, I'm hoping you can see that. Oh, I need new camera equipment. But anyway, so just like that. I should probably go ahead and wet this. You guys. You want to set it up right. Your goal is to bury your roots completely. If the roots aren't healthy, your plant won't stay healthy. So that's what you have to look after. So, and you have to you can plant the nice about tomatoes. You can plant them in pretty much any. You can plant them in pretty much any size of planter. I mean, I've got some really small ones and I've got some really big ones because the roots are so small that they will thrive in a lot of different conditions. So for that reason, I always, and because they can grow pretty tall in spite of the fact that they're in a small container. So I always say it's easier to do it that way. And so I'm gonna just go ahead and give this guy some water. It's standing up pretty good. So I'm thinking that might be what we need to do. Standing up pretty well. And I guess I'll just put this guy, I'm wondering if I should take him inside, because for now that might, or I may just leave him out there with my strawberry and pepper plants. That might be the best thing to do. I'm not sure as of yet. But while I'm here, let's go ahead and pull up some of these little things. Grow. So you can also, oh, she got her garden's full of weeds. Yeah, weeds happen. Key is, as soon as you see them, you just kind of pull them up. It's in my greenhouse here. I've had this for a while. Used to be the idea is it was going to be a indoor window greenhouse for herbs, but I didn't have a terrible amount of luck with that. So, and then this is planters. Just gonna use this guy. And then, yeah, I've got a couple more of these I got to fill up. This guy over here is filled up. Try to keep water sources. I mean, they're not huge, largely because John has an understandable concern about standing water. So at some point, my goal is to get a fountain. And if you look in the distance there by that fence that I've put up, you'll see some sunflowers that are still trying. They're trying hard as heck to make it. So hopefully they will. I'm going to go over there in a second and scaffold them a little bit with those sticks you see coming out of the ground. Those are basic. I mean, they're basic kebab wooden sticks you can buy at any grocery store, but I just use them because we have a lot of them sitting around, and I just wanted to get something that'll work, just because your objective is to stand those as straight as you can without messing with without injuring the stalk or the leaves in any way, because that's how they grow. And you have to watch them constantly. I'm beginning to wonder though, really, if I should just wait a few more on that, because, and that's probably what I'll do, because honestly,
You know, as you can see with my failed experiment over on the side here, the one I had over there, I had in stock, I had him ready to go, on a stock, ready to go, but didn't happen for whatever reason. So at any rate, that's where we are, and that is a little bit of my gardening for today. Just wanted to show some videos to show you guys what I'm up to, because I thought you all enjoy the story about the tomatoes. I got to figure out how to do composting the right way. If anybody wants to send me some suggestions, feel free. And if you like what I'm doing here, please make sure to like and subscribe. And again, if you have any tips that you think will help me, my feelings will not be hurt. And if you see something I'm doing wrong, you tell me. I'm new to this. I'm sure you are. You know, if you are too, or wherever you are. Any hints you can give to anybody else, you'll be today's hero. And I hope you're all having a fantastic semi-quincentennial 4th of July celebration. I hope you're all relaxing and having fun with those you love, and that you have some time to relax and recharge and reflect on where 2026 has gone, and where you would like the rest of 2026 on into 2027 to go. Take some time to reflect, journal, whatever works for you. But most of all, have a good time, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.